You're obviously at Yeovil Town at the moment. Um, yeah, how are you finding it being at Yeovil? Obviously, last season with COVID hitting, you had to kind of wait a while, and then you finally ended up playing, and unfortunately, then lost out in the playoffs to Barnet. How would you sum your time up at Yeovil at the moment? How are you finding things?
At the moment, it's brilliant. My first year here, I didn't really enjoy. um, yeah, there's a few things that happened that year.
Yeah,
A couple of fallouts and etc. And relegation. But in terms of the last 2 years under Darren Saul, well, last 18 months, let's call it. I've loved it. Really, I've really enjoyed it. We've got a great group, funny lads, some characters in there. The staff, brilliant, and it led to us obviously last season getting to the playoffs, where I still don't know how we lost the game against Barnet. um, yeah, I mean that was gutting. That was gutting. I honestly thought we were ready to do it. So to go out the way we did and to lose to literally two shots was it was a tough one to take. But in terms of this season, got off to a bad start, really bad start. We weren't doing enough. We weren't doing the things that got us the success last year in terms of work rate, nastiness, togetherness. Don't get me wrong, we were always in games, but in terms of that extra bit you need to win games and to be consistent, we were lacking that. But over the last month or so, we seem to have rekindled that and got our act together a bit. And yeah, it's just a shame with all these games being called off. You can't really then seem to get into a bit of momentum. I think a lot of teams will say that they seem to be able to win a game or two, and then all of a sudden they're off for 2 weeks. So yeah, it's a strange one. But at the end of the day, you just got to crack on. You just got to deal with it. Make sure you look after yourself whenever there isn't any games. Just prepare right.
Do you think it's hard though, Carl, with no fans? There's no sense of home advantage, away advantage. There's nothing there, is there? And and you go back to the playoffs as well. Do you think that massive long break kind of potentially played because obviously you've seen it in the playoffs before that you kind of a team that hits the playoffs in such momentum then ends up taking them up and through. Do you think that potentially played a part in what happened as well?
Um, in terms of the playoff game, I think it was the same for both really.
Yeah.
We just couldn't put the ball in the net that day. The post twice, the clearances off the line. But in terms of this season, I must admit it's been horrible.
Yeah.
It's definitely not the same. Football isn't the same without fans, is it?
No.
Let's be honest. When you walk out the tunnel and you hear that noise as you're walking down, nothing can beat that on a match day. And especially if you're at home, or even I miss some of the away games where the away fans are out against you. I love all that. I love having a bit of banter with away fans now and then. It's definitely not the same. And the sooner we can get back to that, the better, because football's missing it. I think you see the way, well, the results all over every league. It's mad. And I think the fans play a massive part in that. But yeah, the sooner we can get back to having fans in, the better, because it's definitely not the same. Personally, I hate it. I hate not having fans there. Fans work their backsides off all week to be able to come and enjoy themselves at a weekend. Don't get me wrong, some weekends they don't. But I think in terms of the mental health side of it, and being able to to go and enjoy themselves and be part of something.
Yeah.
It's a massive thing, and yeah, don't get me wrong, I can't see why. Obviously, it's different with this new strain of COVID and the lockdown, etc. But I really do hope we can get to a point soon where we at least let a percentage back in, because yeah, it's especially for teams at my level, etc. That need fans, they need income coming in. It must be so hard for teams that, oh, I'm guessing Leagues 1 and 2 downwards. It must be so hard for teams and income, because it's not just the fans, it's sponsorship, etc. It's the whole bigger picture to what goes on. So yeah, I don't envy being a football owner at the minute. So it must be so hard. But nah, I can't wait for the day it does come. And I'll definitely be going down the tunnel with a smile on my face when it does.
Yeah, because how close are you with the Yeovil Town fans? Of course, taking captain's duties this season. You know that. Yeah, what is your relationship like with the Yeovil fans?
I think myself personally, I have a really good one. I think because obviously, I think the fans know what happened the first season in terms of me not being there for a few months and the fallout I had with the manager at the time. I think people know what happened. But no, I think a good thing that, especially with the relegation at the time, the way the gaffer, Darren Saul, has been able to reconnect the lads with the fans has been massive. So for me personally, I have a great one. But in terms of the team, we have a great relationship. Obviously, it's got off to a bit of a rocky start this season with them not being able to watch it and some of the performances and results we've had. But I think overall, the connection we do have is a really good one. And they were massive for us in a lot of games last year.
Yeah.
And probably got us over the line in a couple of games.
So
Yeah,